Okay, here it is. I'm excited to create this piece. I was inspired by this amazing artist on TikTok. Her name is Katie. I've been watching a lot of her videos, and man, the way she just does art is so inspiring. I found these really cool tiny canvases at Walmart, and they are actually magnetic. So I figured I could make these really cute paintings on these tiny canvases, and it'd be a really great addition to my shop. This one is inspired by the fall. I made the grassy hills, and now I'm doing a really cool autumn tree line. Lots of dots of lots of beautiful different fall colors, greens and yellows, getting some oranges and red in here. I love the colors of the fall. Being here in New York in the fall for the Schoolie Swarm, it's really inspired me to create a painting with these colors. And I love how in the distance leaves just look like little dots. So I'm adding some little touches of gold here and there to really highlight the leaves and the trees. Boop, 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 boop. I love it how it shimmers in the light after it dries. It peeks through and makes a really cool multi-dimensional aspect in the painting. This is normal speed. I kind of did a hyperlapse on the rest of the painting to speed it up a little bit so you guys could see the whole entire thing. Looks good. So now I'm going to work on the sky area, putting some white behind the blue just to give it a little bit of depth. I'm using acrylic paint markers, and you can mix them up to a certain extent, but I feel like layering is really the best way to do it with these markers. It adds a lot of depth and dimension, and I love that these markers have the paintbrush tip and also the fine point tip, so I can go in and do different detailing with each one. So now I'm adding some cloud shapes. Clouds, it's easy to be your own worst critic with clouds because you want to make them look perfect, but when you look in the sky, the clouds are never the same. So just be easy on yourself and let it be free. Putting some white over a nice cream color to give some extra dimension in the clouds. What do you think? Alright, now I'm going to go add some tree trunks in. Some little tree trunks. Fill it in, my forest. These trees are so beautiful. I don't know, are they maples that make the orange and red leaves and yellow leaves? It's just so beautiful. It's my favorite part of the fall. I feel so blessed to be from the East Coast so I could experience all 4 seasons. The seasons are amazing. So I'm just filling in the tree trunks, making some smaller ones in the background so you could tell that this is basically a whole entire forest after the field. It's kind of what my view looks like looking out my back window of the bus. A little forest of beautiful trees changing color in the fall. I'm going to go in with some yellow to add some more brightness and dimension. When I step out of the bus and look down at the ground, it's filled with little tiny leaves in all these colors. So pretty, what do you think? Gonna go in now with some blue and purple. I was really inspired by these colors for flowers. I was gonna do only autumn colored flowers in the bottom in the grassy field, but these colors really were just speaking to me so much. They're like, use me, use me. So we got lots of shades of purple and blue and a little bit of pink. These flowers were definitely a process. I went back in layer after layer, going over things, and man, just adding more and more colors, outlining the petals, giving it more dimension. When you add on top of a layer of paint that's a different color, you kind of got to keep adding the layers to make sure that it stands out and doesn't really blend into the background, or else you kind of lose the flowers, So I'm adding some black to darken them up a little bit because they were kind of just disappearing into that grass. So I'm going to go over them with the black and then go over it with all the different colors just to make it a little bit darker on the edges and to make it pop somewhere in the middle. I love painting flowers. I don't know, it's just part of my soul. Whenever I see flowers, they make me happy. And as an artist, you always wonder, what do you want to paint? And really, it's just whatever does make you happy, because that's what art is for, is just a constant reminder of happiness to raise your vibration. So if you love flowers, then paint flowers. If you love the autumn leaves, paint the autumn leaves, and it can be abstract, it can be realistic, it can be whatever you want it to be. Kind of like doing a blend of abstract, surreal, and realistic all together, because I feel like that's really how life is. It's a blend of all of them, everything. And I really tend to paint more out of my imagination and my intuition than off of a example. So it never really turns out looking like exact, like true life, So I'm adding in some stems here just on the edges, because the flowers are pretty close to the edge, so there's not a lot of stem work. I'm adding in some little pinks all over the bottom of the painting, just to show that there's all sorts of flowers in this field. In the background, you don't have to really well define them in the background because they're so far away. I'm going in with some more flowers. I decided to start out with a gold center for these because it's going to pop through and shine in the sunlight. And then I'm surrounding them with orange petals. I do love that these flowers match the trees in the background, the autumn colors. Going in with some yellow in the centers and adding some leaves around the edges with this really beautiful, vivid, bright green. I love adding a variety of colors because that's how nature is. Nature is not just one color, one shade of green. There's such a beautiful scale of all the colors in nature. Adding some little dots around the tree line just to show that leaves have fallen onto the ground. Adding some more into the rest of the grass. And then, I was inspired to put a little birdie up here. What is it, an eagle? Adding some golden brown to the wings. Oh, little birdie. I love birds too. So, it's not really the fanciest bird, but it's super cute. What do you think? And here it is, up close, sideways. Ta-da!